Juan Dixon.
Yes.
The Coppin State part ways with Coach Juan Dixon, of course, husband of Real Housewives of Potomac, Robin Dixon, amid the team scandal. Have you guys heard
He's been
about what's
having these little rumors for years, though.
all right? Lucian Brownlee catfished a player online into providing intimate photos and texts and blackmailed him into videotaping a sexual encounter before publicizing the material when the player resisted demands for sex. This is the player, Ivan Williams. And according to Baltimore Banner, former player Ivan Williams had repeated online conversations with a supposed woman who asked him for pictures of his body. Williams agreed and kept on sending the woman, quote unquote, pictures and videos of sexual nature. After Williams refused to continue with the conversation, the women started blackmailing him, saying that if he didn't continue to send them, she was going to expose him. Now, because it gets crazy. He was sending pictures to a woman of his body and nudes. And he was sending some stuff, probably of him doing some stuff to his little Peter Racker, whatever. He stopped sending them. The lady said, "You gonna send some more, or I'm going to post everything that you sent to me." Things got worse as the woman in question told Williams to have sex with another teammate who was also being catfished and blackmailed. And when Williams refused to comply, the person released all of the intimate correspondence he had received. Soon after, Williams found out that there was never a woman, and the one he was having a conversation with was no other than his own assistant coach, Lucian Brownlee. So, after he was refusing to do some of the things, he found out that it was his assistant coach that was the woman in question and catfished him into sending him all this stuff. Isn't that crazy? So the coach catfished the player as a woman, was getting all the sexual stuff from the player. Oh, and the coach actually told this player, "Hey, I'm getting catfished too, and I got sent an information that if we don't have sex and we don't record it, then she's going to send out this stuff about me too." Williams approached Juan Dixon as the decision maker in the team, and he listened to the player but did not do much about it, according to Williams. Meanwhile, Williams lost his scholarship and had to leave Coppin State for another university. Brownlee lost his job and is now being sued by Williams, and it's not only Lucian, whom Ivan is suing, he's also taken hard legal action against everyone involved, including Juan Dixon and the university.
So it's not even like Juan basically allowed it to happen.
When the player approached Juan and said, "Hey, you are the head coach. Your assistant coach has catfished me, blackmailed me." And, from what I read, is that he actually did do some sexual stuff to the assistant coach, and it was recorded. So the player Williams had some sexual encounters with the assistant coach, and he felt so bad about what happened. That's why he went to the head coach, Juan Dixon, and was like, "Help, because of everything that's happened,
He was
I'm
probably making
thinking."
them.
Well, he started having, wanting to remove himself from the world ideas, and Juan did nothing. What are your thoughts?
That's sexual harassment. It is, I mean, I'm so frustrated. You know, as a mother too, I would, man. Let me tell you this though, young folks and old. If you're having a conversation with somebody online, if they don't take it offline and you can see their face and interact with them, you need to stop. You damn sure don't send no intimate photos of yourself to anybody. Stop. This online stuff is getting y'all in some serious trouble. If you're dealing with somebody, one or two conversations at most online, then you need to move it where I can see your face and your lips moving.
Yep.
And hear your voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think it's also something where because he was in a certain position, you're doing something. It's not like it's a woman. Not saying it would make it better, but that's more of a natural encounter, more, or something that's more normal. But with them having a homosexual encounter, and then the other person initiating it to blackmail you, it's kind of like you're doing these things because it's not even that you want to do them or you liked him. You're doing it because you feel like you're obligated to, because they hold something over your head. It could have been your career as playing basketball, so then you decide to go to someone else for help, and that person does nothing because they probably are into the same type of behavior. They probably both do it.
Yeah. Well, what also kind of came out that the guy, which is the assistant coach, Lucian Brownlee, had some mental issues before, and Juan Dixon knew about it. And people are like, well, why was he still assistant coach if you knew that he had some mental issues going on? But he was still there. And also, there's other reasons why I think Juan Dixon was fired. So it's not only this particular situation, but the basketball team had a few losing seasons, so he wasn't doing really a good job as being head coach. And then also all of the rumors about him and Robin Dixon from Housewives of Potomac. Now, for those that don't watch Housewives of Potomac, like myself, you guys know that they just recently got remarried. They were married, divorced. They are now remarried again. But during the nuptials, come to find out that he was cheating on her with a random woman and buying hotel rooms for the lady. And the lady hit up Robin Dixon in the DMs. Your man is paying for this. I'm with your man. So because of the rumors of infidelity, these allegations that he knew that there was a catfish and sexual assault maybe going on, Juan Dixon, and you losing, you got to go.
Well, going back to the mental health thing again, depending on what kind of mental health, again, former reasonable accommodations program manager. You can't simply fire somebody on the strength of the mental health diagnoses, particularly if they are qualified to do the position with or without an accommodation. So depending on what the mental health issue was, they had no legal right to disclose that to anyone because those things are confidential. And as long as it did not impede his ability to do his job, that had no bearing on it. Now, the issue becomes if during they somehow found out that his mental health condition could deem him to be that he would harm somebody or himself, which he ultimately did. But when they think of harm someone, they're talking about, unaliving them. So him having the mental health condition was not enough for them to say anything or do anything. But once that young man made his outcry to the assistant coach, to the coach, he had a duty to respond, to act. He had a duty.
I agree. Lucky, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe he was put in a spot when he was told this information because maybe him and the assistant coach keeps each other's secrets. So maybe he was used to keeping his secret. So therefore, it was something where hey, can you take care of this man? And he's like, I got you. Just give me some time. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have the time. So maybe he was trying to do something, but not where it looked like I was going against the fact that we keep each other's secrets. Because there's a lot of reasons why somebody publicly would look like they're not doing nothing fast enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To something like that.
Because in my background, the moment that there's an allegation of such, the person is moved pending an investigation. The person is assigned some other duty pending the outcome of an investigation. But another thing, I'm sorry, I need to understand why these young men are in college. You can't meet a girl in college. You're an athlete. You can't meet a girl who wants to be with you in college. That's a problem for me. I don't understand why there is no social skills that y'all, and the reason why I'm saying this because the same thing happened to a young man, a football player in Virginia a little over almost 2 years ago. He was communicating with what he thought was a woman. Ultimately met the woman he thought was a woman, only to find out it was a man. And I'm like, and he unalived the man.
Oh.
So, and I asked the same thing. You are on a college campus with women, young women of all races. And when I was in college, okay, I'll just leave it there. But the athletes got all the women. And you don't have to even try hard.
Well, the thing is just because he is an athlete does not mean he's not socially awkward or he's good in that area. That's a total different skill. Just because you play basketball, you think it would translate, but do they like talking to you past a few conversations? You know what I'm saying? Like those are things that happen.
You remember the NFL player that got catfish? So the term catfish kind of stemmed from someone in the NFL. I don't know. I don't remember his name. And this was a long time ago. I remember him being on Dr. Phil. And he was getting catfish and wanting to marry this woman that wasn't who she said she was. And he's in the NFL. And this is where the terminology of catfish came from. MTV, Catfish with Neve. And to still get catfish in this day and age where you have FaceTime and all this social media, to me, it's amazing. So I want to see the pictures of this woman. So even though he's in college, I mean, these pictures, she could have looked like, the goddess. And he could have been like, oh, darn, because he stopped. So maybe he stopped because he figured something was going on. And because he stopped, that's when they turned it up to the next level and said, hey, I got this stuff from you. If you don't do some sexual stuff with another man, I'm going to expose it. That's wild. But yeah, in 2023, there's no reason that someone should be catfished.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say, and go to parents. We got to teach our kids how to communicate. And again, there's obviously was some kind of communication going on to lead up to this young man sending him pictures. So the problem is they don't know how to take that texting crap to real life. So, we got to teach our kids how to communicate with each other because they don't know how to do it. This is shameful.